And we are live. There we go.
Oh, we're doing it on Discord.
Yeah. We are live streaming at the moment, so keep that in mind.
Keep that in mind.
Welcome, everybody, to the Anti
All right,
Think
so
Tank,
let's
episode
talk about
51.
Episode 51. How we all feeling tonight?
Fucking awful.
pretty good shit.
As you know, it's been like 5 days since I felt good. I have had an arc.
Oh, are you
this
sick
week.
again?
Terribly.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe this time we could like go in order and just let someone give their life story on what's going on with them, and because Ryan, he's got a story. He's got man's had some. I'm just gonna let Ryan talk.
Yeah, so I don't know what type of super virus I came down with over the weekend. But like starting from like basically Sunday, the entire week just went down the shitter. Me and Ian were talking about playing Crusader Kings 3 because his PC finally gets set up, right? We're like, oh, this cannot go wrong. We go on there.
This is a slam dunk.
We go on there, and it does not load for him. We're like, all right, shouldn't take too long. We'll just wait it out. 50 minutes later, we're still on call. It hasn't loaded, and then it crashes. So we say, fuck it, we'll try it again later, see ya. He hangs up the call. We leave. He messages me later, about 6:30 at night, saying like, hey, it's working, come on, get on. And I don't respond. Now, the reason I'm not responding, we'll get to in a minute. But when I call Ian later, he's sitting there saying like, dude, I was shit talking you so much. where the fuck were you? I'm like, yeah, I was next to my dying uncle. He had a massive heart attack. And the guilt that went through Ian's voice in like 0.3 seconds. So on Sunday, I get to watch like my father figure for most of my life pass into the great beyond. Monday goes around and I head over to Ian's house and we watch some good shit. It was a generally decent day until I get home. And whatever virus or bacteria has taken over my body takes full effect and I fucking crash. Wake up the next day. Look around, everything's going great. Feel My aunt contacted and says, hey, we need someone to be pallbearer. Will you do it? And I'm like, yeah, I'd be more than honored. I love my uncle. It's going to be great. The issue comes around where I think that this is a cold, and it starts slowly teetering into the time in which I need to be a pallbearer. The day before comes up, I contact my aunt and say, hey, I don't think I can. She said, there is literally no one else who can. So, yesterday, I'm at the funeral. I have like a COVID mask on in the back, and I look like one of those people who like double mask during the thing and still haven't gotten over it.
They're just still masking in 2024.
I'm in the back breathing like Darth Vader with eyes bloodshot staring forward. And everyone, all the family was coming like, oh, hey, Bonnie, how are you doing? Oh, what the fuck? You stay over there.
Hey, man, you're fine. Oh.
My aunt, so my grandmother's daughter, actually looked at me and I haven't seen her in like 5 years. And just looked at me and said, you stay way over there. I do not need that shit.
Like I can't imagine like how you felt in that situation, because I imagine your nose was stopped up and like you wanted to. This man just wanted to be taking a nap. But, like, let's just be honest.
So it gets the time to carry my uncle, and I get to the front and there's 5 of us, and there's supposed to be 6. Apparently, One of the other pallbearers just decided to not show up, not because he was sick. He just didn't want to show up. So he told them he would and then didn't. So the priest grabs one end, I'm next to him, and we take him out to the hearse, and I'm like, alright, fine, it's done. I can go home and crash and say, alright, follow behind the hearse, all the pallbearers at least. What?
What?
We go in a police convoy all the way across town to the gravesite, and then have to carry him again to get to the grave and then lower him in. And this time, instead of it being like a 10-foot thing, it's like a 100-foot thing. And it's windy at 20 degrees.
So your COVID-stricken ass had to lower this casket into the ground.
Like, we get it done. I just, like, go towards the back of the crowd. And I'm actually making, like...
Genuinely sounding like some, like a frog. The man was sounding like a malaria-stricken frog, man.
So, my uncle was in the Navy. So they start taps, right? I didn't tell you this part yet, but they start taps, and they are doing one of the worst renditions of taps I've ever heard. I guess, like, partially because it was, like, cold and windy, and partially because I'm in the background going, oh, God!
Oh, my God. Dude. Oh, my Lord.
It ends. His wife walks over and thanks me for the help. Sure. No problem. I'm gonna go. I go home. My grandmother's nice as hell. She goes out, she grabs some Taco Bell, throws it at me. I enjoy a nice fucking, like, grilled cheese burrito before, like, I'm gonna lay down and catch my breath for a little bit. And then I close my eyes at 4:30 and I open them at 7:30 a.m.
So you slept like 15 hours.
Yeah, and that's how I woke up this
The
morning.
man's body literally said Voltron, powering down. Man's body genuinely powered down like a Gundam.
I woke up to my dog, like, growling and, like, pulling on me, like, wake the fuck up! I have to shit!
So what you're saying is if it wasn't for your dog, you probably could have slept like another 3-4 hours.
Probably. I was gone. I was fucking gone.
We then spent all of today trying to get Civilization 5 or Crusader Kings going, but that didn't work. But that is clearly the least of the worries because this man has had genuinely he's had a week, ladies and gentlemen. He's had a week.
Really glad I sold that gun.
What? Connor, what is that?
Connor enjoying the gun I sold, apparently.
What?
How's the school zone?
No! Connor, what is that? No, I'm Connor.
I was near final circle and all I had was a revolver, so I was having to get into a duel.
Okay, let me make this absolutely clear. Ryan just told you that his father figure died. He got a super virus, and if he had a gun, he'd kill himself. And you're trying to clutch a #1 victory royale in Tomato Town.
No, I had explained that to you before I joined the call. I was like, I need to know if this is on Riverside or if it's on Discord, because I literally just launched the map, and you're like, oh, it's fine. It's fine.
No, that
It's like, this week has been so shit, boys. I need all the help I can get. And he's... Da-da-da-da-da!
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da. I think it was... No, the gunshot sound effects, because Connor, you got a shotgun, right?
No, it was a revolver.
Oh yeah, my bad. Just Connor emptying his revolver into an 8-year-old trying to clutch a dub, while Ryan's just like, "Yeah, boys, I almost killed myself yesterday."
Like, I'm really glad I sold that gun. And then we immediately started hearing gunshots from Connor's like, yeah, I'm really glad you did too. This shit's great.
Like, did you sell it to Connor?
Like, I it wasn't intentional. I was in a battle.
No. Did you get the dub ski, my brother?
Did you clutch up?
I did not. I got killed by, I'm gonna assume, an 8-year-old.
It made for a great moment. I'm also now realizing that after Justin left, he passed on the ceremonial wheeze to me because I didn't wheeze before like a couple of days ago, and now I wheeze whenever I left. So I guess if I leave, I don't know who it gets passed on to.
It's like Chris Chan's medallion. It just comes with a fucking curse, dude. It's gotten Mutahar now.
What?
Like, Mutahar put on Chris Chan's medallion, and then he immediately started, like, wigging the fuck out, and now he's losing viewers.
That is wild.
Why are people even associating with Chris Chan? Like, he's actually a rapist.
It's not that they're associating with him. He has the Sonichu medallion, and it's just made the rounds, and everywhere it ends up, something bad ends up happening. It may actually be a cursed object.
It's making the rounds like he sold it and people are pawning it off.
Yeah, like, the Sonichu medallion. If you put in Sonichu medallion in Google, the first thing that comes up is curse.
I'm going to do that right now, actually. Oh, I hate that.
Like, it even got Rakieta Law.
If I'm not mistaken, he made this thing like well over like 20-25 years ago, like back in the 90s.
It looks like it.
We gotta stay away from that thing as much as we can. Like, we can't afford to lose our 75 subs.
Like,
probably 74 after the gun joke.
Oh my god. Connor, well, actually, just to empty this out, Ryan, I'm really glad that you detailed your last week for everyone to remember. I can't imagine you can ever have a worse week than this. Again, maybe this is just, maybe this is it. Maybe it's all up from here, but
there's still 2 days left, brother. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, this is just the Ryan sick filler art.
Oh yeah, to put perspective with the Sonic medallion, the Sonichu medallion, even iDubbbz got like a replica, and we all know how that went.
Men went from like probably the most beloved and respected YouTuber on the planet to like just, I still watch his videos, but like, they're just not funny anymore. But, Connor, did you have a few things you wanted to mention?
Oh, as far as that story, or just in general?
Just in general.
Oh, you had said that you wanted to do. Yeah, you had said you wanted to do the podcast tonight because you had a few things you wanted to talk about.
Oh yeah, so first off, anyone on the stream, if you played Marvel Rivals yet, or if you haven't, I would suggest giving it a go. It sounds crazy, but in my opinion, it is better than Overwatch, even though it's basically an Overwatch clone.
Yeah, so it's like an Overwatch clone, but like with Marvel characters. How many Marvel characters do you get? I like the way I'm talking about this sounds like an ad. How many Marvel characters do you get at the beginning, Con?
My Iron Man has 3 million power.
My God.
I think you get like 14 at the beginning, and there's like 28, but I'm gonna assume they're gonna do like Overwatch and add a new character every season or two.
Let's see, Marvel Rivals.
It seems pretty balanced from what I've played so far, but I will say Iron Man is kind of broken because he can just permanently fly.
Alright.
Like, can he just stay away from damage in general?
Well, I mean, if they've got ranged attacks, they can hit them, but like he can basically get like on an objective and just fly up from fly up to the ceiling and just snipe you.
Have they
Gotcha.
added Donovan
Okay.
to Berserk yet, or no? If they haven't done that, I don't want to.
Have they done what?
Have they added
Have they
Donovan
done what?
to Berserk yet?
Donovan what?
From
He
Berserk?
is asking if they've added. He's asking if they've added a character named Donovan from a manga called Berserk, and you. No, they haven't added him.
Fucking waste of time.
I don't know why Ryan is so quiet.
Check your volume.
Yeah, you're at max.
I'm sending Donovan in chat.
Also, I almost went to the JSU game today because they had the conference championship, and I was gonna get in by using a 4-year-old JSU student ID because apparently they don't pick the date. And then I figured out it was 24 fucking degrees, and I was like, "Yeah, we're not doing that, chat."
We're not doing that. We need to protect our balls. I sent it in chat. This is Donovan coming to Marvel Rivals soon. He does some interesting things to the main character when he's 4 years old. Very respectable character. Can't imagine what his moveset in Marvel Rivals is going to be legendary. I'm also looking at all of the characters in Marvel Rivals, and why is
damage against Peter Parker, dude?
what?
You know what I said.
What did you? No. Say that again. Say that again, dude.
He has bonus damage against Peter Parker. You think I'm too pussy to repeat myself?
No, Donovan will just start freaking out, and if you try to attack a character that's like above 18, he won't do it. But he will like become an AI that will just seek out like Peter Parker.
He gets an auto lock. Bro just hits him with a Warwick ult.
There's a Spider-Man skin in the game where he's just bombastic bagman.
Bro, I'm looking at the. Oh my god. Okay, Marvel Rivals. Bro, just auto locks on Baby Groot. Marvel Rivals characters. Okay.
I know they got the classics, like you got Spider-Man, Wolverine, Iron Man, and there's some other ones like Squirrel Girl and stuff, and it's like, what the...
Yeah, there are a few like deep cuts here that I don't quite understand why they're here, but some of these look, dude, like, so with the Punisher, is it like actual Punisher or like nerfed Punisher?
I mean, I guess it depends if we're talking comics or show.
Like, does bro bring the straps and do they do damage?
Oh yeah, his super, he literally just pulls out a turret and rocket launcher and proceeds to air out the room.
Absolutely legendary. All right, cool. I might have to check it out. It does definitely look pretty fun. Yeah, so definitely looks cool. What else do you want to talk about?
It's been taking the Glock out and
Yep,
airing
throwing this.
The United Healthcare situation.
Yeah, that has been kind of disturbing to me. Normally, I'm not on the side of like defending a CEO, but the amount of like memes and jokes I've saw online, like making fun of this dude and his family, is actually kind of like, it's actually sickening. Like they're just full on cheering on assassination in New York City, and it's disturbing.
Yeah, it's fucked up, but let me preface this and just outright state my opinion. I don't have sympathy for him. I have sympathy for his family because the policies this dude put forward were outright evil. Like, he was denying pretty much families would pay like $300 to $400 to get premium plans every month, and then he would do everything in his power to prevent them from using it, or like argue against them, saying like, "Oh, this doesn't fall under the plan because of this, and this," and there would be children who would like lose out on cancer treatment. There would be families who couldn't afford any sort of like medical assistance. So I don't have sympathy for him, but I do think that it's very, very fucking dangerous to start, like, endorsing this shit. And it's very, very fucking dangerous to start celebrating when this shit happens.
Oh no, see that's what I'm saying. Like
Family,
I
go fuck yourself. His family does not deserve this.
that's what I'm saying. Like he was a bad guy, but like to just openly celebrate this and like make fun of his family. Because I've been seeing jokes like we're talking about like them joking about like how his family's gonna get denied from the same company and all this, and like his wife's not gonna get a payout, and it's like okay, he was a scummy guy. But like openly just calling for the assassination of any CEOs you don't like in New York City and then making fun of their family, like that is like 5 steps too far.
Like there have to be more diplomatic ways to just get this dude like punished.
Because apparently there's a whole thing going on now where like on LinkedIn and Indeed and all that, a bunch of like CEOs and stuff are like pulling their information down because they're scared this is gonna start some like social movement where people are just like putting bounties out on like a Walmart CEO or something like that.
That would make for a really cool like late night Adult Swim show though. Like that seems very apocalyptic, honestly. That should not be even be a possibility in real life though. Like that's kind of scary.
I just
Ranch.
Like Like imagine if like conservatives just started going out and like killing like the BlackRock CEO or like Planned Parenthood CEO. Imagine how quickly the roles would reverse.
okay.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Like
If there's one CEO on the planet who I will not fucking grieve, it's the BlackRock CEO. Okay, like
No, I'm not saying he's a good person. I'm just saying if the roles were reversed.
I feel like there's a different like for me like I'm not well. I was about to call for someone's murder. Let me take a step back and like try to
Hey, yo.
rearrange my thoughts. Try to rearrange my thoughts.
Chat, Ian does not endorse killing Elon Musk.
I do. I absolutely do not.
that was a very bad.
I don't
stutter.
endorse anything.
That was a very bad stutter.
You boys talk. I got to get some ranch.
Slip.
I got to get some ranch for my tendies, boys. You guys talk.
What's insane is that they're got like a picture of him thanks to the fucking like him flirting with some girl at a Starbucks. That's the real fucking kicker with all this.
Who's watching the stream in the stream?
I don't know.
Y'all heard that, right?
No, I'm currently looking for barbecue sauce.
Not blood looking for barbecue sauce.
Let's go up. Let's see. Other than that, there's the South Korea situation. The South Korea situation is just fucking crazy, dude.
I'm still trying to I'm still confused on what happened. Like, did he lose the election and he was trying to use that to like prolong his tenure? Like, I'm still a little lost on that one.
So South Korean presidents. Let me make sure before I say anything. I think they have a single term limit. Yeah, they're limited to 1 5-year term without the possibility of re-election. So he was never going to be re-elected.
So he's right at the tail end of his term.
No,
Okay,
he'd only
gotcha.
been there about 2 years, so he still had the majority of his term left. He basically just... A lot of his cabinet was under fire for corruption, and Congress was slowly impeaching each of them, and he had 55 impeach attempts against him before for corruption. So he was like, fuck it. Like, we'll do this shit in the middle of the night, and then we'll play ball. Our Congress has, like, North Korean sympathies. All right, go, guys, go. Don't let him in the building. And then their ministers like hopped the fence in the middle of the night and then voted to end the martial law. And he was just like, "Fuck, man, I guess they voted."
Wait, so they literally like broke into the Capitol buildings to vote against it?
Yeah, like as if being in the building was important enough to not just say, "Yeah, nah, he can't do that."
So Connor, if you go online, you can find tons of footage of like hundreds and hundreds of people in South Korea just rushing into the buildings.
Oh, I saw like some of the like there weren't like riots, but there were more like protests in the street, like basically them being like "F you, we're not, like we're not taking this martial law seriously." But I didn't know about the storming the Capitol building.
Like their own ministers hopped the fence in the middle of the night, ran in there, barred the doors and windows shut so that nobody could get in, and then held the vote. And both parties unanimously agreed to end it 190 votes to 0, saying this martial law should not have been in place, end it now. And then 4 hours later...
So they have a parliament then.
Yeah. So 4 hours later, their president walks out and says, like, "Man, I guess I have to accept the results of the vote. 190 to 0 is kind of crazy. Martial law is over." Because he has the sole power of ending martial law. It has to be voted on, and then he has to say it's over.
So if he just refuses, then there's no point of the vote?
Kinda. He also has sole ability to declare martial law, so if he like accepted the end of it and then immediately declared it again, he could just do that over and over again.
Wait. He literally could have done that indefinitely, like, for years.
That's technically a loophole, yeah. Just keep doing it.
So was this idea just to like use it as a coup or something, or like?
Yeah, it was probably a coup d'état attempt.
Like I do have to say just right quick. Like I watched all 11 seasons of MASH. And in that show, you get so hyped up for like watching the Korean War end, and like every time I would get upset that the characters were over there, I was like, oh well, at least what their actions played a part in getting South Korea's independence. Getting South Korea in a great place. And then I see that this happened, and I look over at my MASH complete series over there, and I almost just threw it in the garbage. I was like, this is a lie. MASH lied to me. South Korea's going down the shithole again.
South Korea was in a dictatorship for years after the Korean War.
No, they saved everything. The characters from MASH, they fixed everything, dude.
Yeah, you can't tell Ian otherwise. He's having to make his own headcanon.
I genuinely the show ends so somberly and sadly that I have to convince myself that it has a good ending.
What was the Asian country that just overthrew? Well, not overthrew, but they took they got conservative leadership for the first time in decade. Was it Japan?
No answer. Ryan, answer.
I have no idea.
I thought it was South Korea, but it's obviously not since he's already 2 years into his term.
I guess we'll have to pull that up. That's.
I'm in Taiwan.
Yeah. Just so you know,
is he doing?
The infection has spread. It's done its job.
Bro, he is dying.
The shares, Connor. Think of the shares.
We're gonna go viral, chat.
I'm fine. I'm totally fine. No shares needed. No shares.
Did you choke on barbecue sauce? What happened?
So I went. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Ryan got me sick, and we hung out
Oh,
the other day, and ever since then I've had a sore throat, and I've been trying to chill, but like I'm very certain that I'm about to be really sick for the next few days.
oh,
So
thank God I haven't been around any of you in a while.
it's so bad, dude. I hope the wheeze stays though. I hope I get to keep the wheeze after I'm good again.
Fear the weeds.
So
Just to really fuck with you, Ian. Chun Du-hwan. Chun usurped power after the 1979 assassination of President Park Chung-hee. Park was himself a military dictator who had ruled since 1961. Chun then orchestrated the 12th of December 1979 military coup and cemented his military dictatorship in the 1980 military coup, in which he declared martial law and later set up concentration camps for purificatory education. MASH didn't matter.
dun 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 dun. Through early morning fog I see.
So,
The suicide is painless.
in 1987, he conceded to allowing the December 1987 presidential election to be free and open. It was won by his close friend and ally Roy
The
Tae-woo.
suicide is painless. It brings on many changes, and I can
And you're
just
breaking
leave
this man's
If it-
worldview.
However,
Please.
if it makes you feel good, in 1996, Chun was convicted by the Seoul High Court on multiple charges, including treason and insurrection. It was
That
upheld by
makes
the
me
Supreme
happy.
Court in April the following year. However, I just read this part.
However,
In December, President Kim Young-sam, on the advice of the incoming president-elect Kim Dae-jung, whom Chun's administration had sentenced to death 2 decades earlier, pardoned both him and his ally.
Through early morning fog I see visions of the things to be, the pains that are within.
Chun and Roe were
I
fined.
realize.
They were fined $203 million and $248 million, respectively. Amounts that were embezzled through corruption during the regimes. Okay, which were mostly never paid. Okay, this does not have a good ending. This does not have a good ending.
The game of life is hard to play. You're gonna lose it anyway.
you broke this man's worldview, Ryan. Like, this man, he could have went his whole life thinking Korea was free and a good nation, and you've
Dude, they were
No.
killed this
so they
man.
were under a lesbian death cult like a few presidencies ago. This attempt ain't shit. Like this is just a standard Korean
No,
weekend.
wait, lesbian death cult. Hold on. You gotta catch me up on this one.
Ryan, go. Give him the lore.
Cult of the 8 goddesses, I believe it is. Just Google that.
Yeah, the
real
cult of the
quick.
8 goddesses.
The 2016 South Korean political scandal was a scandal that emerged around October 2016 in relation to the unusual access that Choi Soon-sil, the daughter of the shaman-esque cult leader Choi Tae-min, had to President Park Geun-hye. Widespread coverage of this South Korean political scandal began in October 2016. On November 29th, Park offered to begin the process of removing herself from power. On December 9th, Park was impeached, and then Prime Minister Hwang Kyo-yeon became the acting president. On December 21st, the special prosecution team led by Park Young-soo began to investigate the Choi Soon-sil scandal. On March 10, 2017, the Constitutional Court of Korea ruled to uphold the impeachment. All 8 judges agreed that President Park abused her power. A new election was held 60 days afterward. This resulted in the victory of the Democratic Party candidate Moon Jae-in, who won 41% of the popular vote in the election. Background.
I'm gonna be 100% with you, Chief. I didn't even know Korea had a female president.
And it was a feminist lesbian death cult. They've reportedly had like human sacrifices and shit.
So
And
like,
Go on.
so it was an actual cult, like
Yes, it was an
controlling the government in the
actual cult.
background.
It was an actual cult.
Yeah. And just to confirm, like the human sacrifice thing is real. They killed so many people.
You confirmed that? Like, that
How
was
did they
just-
get away with it? Were they like arresting them on false charges and then killing them, or like?
So they had a ton of false imprisonments, but a lot of the time it was literally just like, hey, that young student there, we'll give him an internship. Come out on this boat.
And then the boat mysteriously catches fire. Hundreds of people die, and the eight goddesses get away scot-free.
So one of them like fled to Germany and just got caught there.
Why would you
Oh,
go
my
to
lord.
Germany?
Because the jig was up.
Like, okay, but
But like, why specifically Germany?
here's how I feel about that. Just right quick, if I am Korean and I want to blend in to a crowd because I was a part of the cult of the eight goddesses, I'm not going to blend in Germany.
But
She
yeah,
would have had better luck like going to Swiss Alps than just like becoming a hermit.
it's
Dude,
really
actually,
not even
they
that.
also groomed a young person like to be like a leader, and the whole thing feels very, very, very Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Yeah, like
Dude, I thought like Japan's government was corrupt. This makes Japan look amazing.
I know.
like Japan just has an issue where like they don't want anything to change. So like you will no matter who wins, nothing changes. A Korean corruption crisis is fucking like no one believed whenever the Cult of the Eight Goddesses first got revealed because why the fuck would you? This shit sounds like it's out of an anime. And then like the president just walked out on stage, yeah, that shit's real, I'm a part of it. I'm sorry.
So did she get any prison time? Did she get any prison time, or was it just impeachment?
I think she got arrested. I can make sure real quick. Let's see. 2016 Korean political scandal. This was like 8 years ago. Holy shit. It's now just setting in. This was only 8 years ago that the lesbian death cult was taken away from South Korea. Alright. In 2018, 2 separate cases resulted in an increase of 7 years in Park's prison sentence. So she was sentenced to 24 years in prison, later increased to 25 for corruption and abuse of power. In 2018, 2 separate cases resulted in an increase of 7 years in Park's prison sentence. She was found guilty of illegally taking off-the-book funds from the National Intelligence. She stole from their CIA. She stole from the
Hold on, not to
CIA
throw another,
and given a
not to
5-year
throw another
sentence.
smoke.
And also found guilty of illegally interfering in the Saenuri Party primaries in the 2016 South Korean legislative election, for which she was sentenced to 2 more years. Ian, on 20th December 2021, it was announced she would receive a pardon on compassionate grounds from South Korean President Moon Jae-in. She was released
The
from
sword
prison
of
on 31st of December and returned to home 3 months later on the 24th of March 2022.
It brings on many changes,
Throw another
and
smoke
I
in
can
there.
take or leave it.
Not to throw another smoking gun on top of the pile of smoking guns, but I was trying to figure out about this death cult, and a totally different thing come up from an article called "Inside the South Korean Doomsday Cult Recruiting Young Black Christians in the UK." So apparently there was a whole other scandal.
Oh my god!
Keep in mind, this woman is 72 years old. They started grooming her to be president at 23. So there is a good 50 fucking years of this shit just being out there and operating, and we learned about it 8 years ago.
So you're telling me that like MASH goes on for 11 seasons. It ends. The second it ends and the characters that are still alive leave Korea, the death cult moves in almost immediately.
Like, she was born on the 2nd of February 1952. They reportedly started grooming her when she was 23 years old. So, like, 1975. When did the Korean War end? Like, just to make sure.
54?
53. So, like, MASH ends, they leave. Everybody's chilling. It's tense for like 20 years, and then they're like, man, I could really go for some pussy and some human sacrifice right now.
My god. It's actually ironic. That's a line that was actually uttered exactly in MASH, actually.
Okay, so according to online sources, South Korea is now extremely scared of electing another female president because of what happened.
Yeah, it made them incredibly misogynistic against their leadership.
I can kind of understand why. I know that sounds bad, but like,
No, Connor, no, dude, no. We cannot blame.
One in. Do you know how unlikely that is? They let one woman be president, and immediately
they let one woman be president, and the dwarf in the flask almost swallowed God.
Yeah, what if they've got like a whole back cast, right? Like what if they've got like 4 more waiting in the wings, right? Like the next.
From what I understand, they only got one goddess, and that's because she fled to Germany. So, like, I don't know where the fuck the others are.
Are you saying that they're when this is all like said and done, there could be a movie about like hunting down the 8 goddesses? One is like one's in Germany, one's like beneath the sea in Atlantis. Like MacGuffin's in a Zelda game.
We gotta name this podcast like Ian learns the hard truth about South Korea.
It's like like I was prepared for this. Like every single episode, Hawkeye's like, we're making no difference. We're going to leave, and nothing will be changed. We're only letting people die. And then at the end, I still gaslit myself. You're like, yeah, they made a difference.
They made such a difference.
No, that's the thing. That is American history.
Death cult.
That is American history in a nutshell. Like whenever we like quote unquote free a country, 2 things happens. Either we orchestrate a uprising or rebellion to get someone we want in power, or the opposite happens where we quote unquote free the country, and then like 2 seconds later there's an uprising and then there's a dictator in place. Every time.
Dude, I guess suicide is painless. I guess it does bring on many changes.
Like, this is a country that, like, in order to prevent their presidents from seizing dictatorial power, because it happened twice. It happened fucking twice. Like, they got rid of one dictator in an uprising. The dude who replaced him was like, yeah! Guess what, fuckers?
Is that why when you look at the thing, like the early presidents are like residing for like 15 years and then it starts going like 4 years, 5 years?
Yeah. Like, there were 2 dictatorships and then every other president is maximum of 5 years.
If they even make it to that.
Oh, okay, I am about to have to go here in a second, gentlemen. Connor, do you have anything else you wanted to mention?
Oh, did y'all see where Ubisoft is going completely into the gutter and they're about to shut down their shooter X Defiant that they poured millions and millions of dollars into?
I saw Critical made a video about it. It's been in my to watch later for a couple days. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, so basically Ubisoft decided they were gonna make a free to play first person shooter game and it was gonna be their like quote unquote COD killer. And from what I remember hearing is it was actually kind of decent at launch, but it didn't have enough game modes or weapons or anything. And it literally came out like 5 months ago. They're already shutting it down. And they're giving refunds to everyone that bought the founders pack. So they won't even make any profit off of it, which I'm actually surprised they're giving the refunds on the founders pack. But yeah, and then apparently Star Wars Outlaws flopped as well. So Ubisoft may actually be cooked.
I really.
Live to see this day.
What do you mean?
I hate Ubisoft.
Like
I'm so
like they
fucking happy, brother.
so Ubisoft makes Far Cry, right?
Yes, and Assassin's Creed.
Okay, so that's what I thought. Ubisoft, like, they have all these different franchises that are all essentially the exact same thing.
See, Ubisoft, like, it used to be a very popular, well-liked company. Like, when they were making the early Assassin's Creed games and, like, the first 3 Far Cries, Ubisoft was very loved. And then they started going into the whole live service microtransaction stuff with, like, Rainbow Six Siege and more of their modern games. And now they're one of the most hated AAA companies on the planet.
I must admit, I do really enjoy some Siege, and I do like Far Cry 4 a lot, and so they do have some great games, but, like, my god, their stuff got repetitive. Like, I mean, there was no reason to release an Assassin. There was a long time where they were releasing a new Assassin's Creed game every year.
Which Far Cry is the one I played at your house like 5 years ago? It's like rural Montana and everyone's in like the brainwashed death cult.
Far Cry 5, which I do enjoy.
Yeah, death cult, just like South Korea.
Yeah.
Remember the time there was a dictatorship in South Korea, Lois?
Yeah, I understand.
6 hours.
It's unfortunate.
That lasted 6 hours. Man must have been on top of the world for the first 2.
It does make me really happy how, like, instead of just doing a Zoom call, like, they all physically made sure that they were there just to get it reversed. Like, that's actually kind of inspiring that they hated the decision that much and were so scared of the decision that they really, like, all were on top of it. Like, that's just, like, nice to see.
Imagine if that happened in the U.S. Like Trump declared martial law, and then you see like video footage of like Bernie Sanders and Ted Cruz hopping a fence to get to the Senate to vote.
Kill him!
Like, this would be a
Get
case.
that
Like,
motherfucker now!
We can get past this. We can get past this fence, Bernie, with the power of friendship.
Ted Cruz.
Bernie actually.
Ted Cruz like pushes Bernie
What?
over and then just gets a spotlight. He's right there. Get him! He's running.
Get that socialist commie fucker.
Bernie
Ted,
finally gets
Ted,
over the
what the
thing.
fuck,
He hits the
man?
ground and he really. What?
Bernie just looked at Ted, what the hell, man? I thought we were in this together.
And then
Oh, we
Ted
win
puts
this
the
together.
MAGA hat on, and he's like, "I'm also addicted."
There's definitely room here for a feature film. Definitely.
Oh, speaking of that, have y'all saw where Bernie's been getting flack because he's been agreeing with Trump and Elon surprisingly a lot recently?
Yeah, he's a left-wing populist, and he agrees somewhat with a right-wing populist. Who the fuck would have guessed? Like,
Oh no, I know, but it's just like people are like flipping out because he's been doing it more. Because apparently he made a comment that he's in favor of Doge because he doesn't like the military-industrial complex. And I was actually kind of surprised because normally socialists like big government, so that one kind of threw me off with Bernie being for the Doge department, but at the same time, I'm like, I know he really hates the military, but apparently some of his supporters are like turning on him because of how much he's been agreeing with Trump recently.
Yeah, it's socialists have a really big issue. And it's quite literally that they look more at what's the best way to put it? They look more at who is putting the idea forward than the idea itself. They're not pragmatic at all. Like Donald Trump could quite literally like argue for a full implementation of their ideology and it would make the socialist movement die in an afternoon. They would not fucking care.
It would have to be by Bernie.
Socialism.
Now it's looking to be
I am 100%.
Go on.
Speak.
I am 100% like, or more like 99% certain. So you know how Bernie's kind of like the face of like Democrat socialist in the U.S.
He was. It's
Yeah.
slowly moving to like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez now.
Well, yeah, that's what I was about to say. Because like Bernie has more power because he's a senator compared to a rep. He's been in office longer than AOC's been alive. But I feel like once he either passes away or finishes up his last term, especially if AOC is able to become a senator in the future or makes a presidential run, she will become like the new face of Democrat socialists in America.
Yeah. So, like the populist, America pretty much has three political parties right now. There's the populist left, the moderates, which are like on both the Republican and Democratic side, and then there's the populist right, which is the MAGA movement. The populist left has a really, really big issue with disunity and purity testing. The moderates have basically zero power. They don't know how to get anything fucking done because they were in power for so long.
They just kind of stand in the way.
Yeah, like they were in power solely for like 50 years. So now they just don't know how to do anything. Like the populist movements know how to get shit done because they've been on the back burner for so long. They know how to like weight their power towards like what they need. And now that the populist right is in full control of the Republican Party, like they are just pushing so much 24/7. It is absurd.
They legit are. They are legit actually in full power at this point because like Liz Cheney got ousted, Mitch McConnell isn't running for another term, so he's out. Like they like all of like the old GOP is really gone. Like what's left of the old GOP is like governors like Brian Kemp and stuff, like and that aren't even in Congress.
Yeah, you have a couple of them that yell at Donald Trump like, I remember when there were good Republicans that only did war with Iran.
Holy shit. Bro, hit that Iran really hard.
Chris Christie looking like they're gonna call you Donald Duck. Nobody look at the fact that I abused my power as governor to shut down a bridge to harass my political opponents. Nobody look at that.
The fact that Christie was able to win in New Jersey as a Republican is still baffling to me. I'm still trying to figure that one out.
Especially after the horrendous Donald Duck line.
Oh no, this was way before that. He lost so many years before he made that fucking line. Like, him and Nikki Haley.
Didn't Christie try to run?
Like, him and Nikki Haley basically took their careers out back and old yellered them in an attempt to appeal to the moderates.
Haley will not have another chance. Even once Trump is done, I mean, she was getting clocked by DeSantis and Vivek in the primaries. Like, there's no way. And not to mention, I mean, he's going to just hand the keys off to Vance, probably.
Yeah, in 2028, it's going to be either J.D. Vance or Vivek Ramaswamy. Like, whoever wins in the primary, it's between those two.
Which it'll probably be Vance, just because the VP usually has the advantage in the primary. But he'll probably end up taking Vivek as his VP, and if not, probably DeSantis,
Yeah, like
because DeSantis is
2028 is looking like very interesting. Sorry for interrupting. Just I wanted to get this point out because you have JD Vance and Vivek Ramaswamy as the very very clear like successors to the MAGA movement. Vivek has been Trump's right hand man for most of the campaign trail up until it was time to pick the VP, in which he went with his son's suggestion of JD Vance. Vance has been decent to the VP, but Vivek is now going to be over Doge, which is like the most highly, like at this point, publicized position. So
not to mention it would just be a middle finger to the left if Republicans elect a Indian immigrant to the White House.
yeah, like then under them you have the two other possibilities right now of Ron DeSantis and Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz is the only one that I think that could potentially hit into that upper echelon of JD Vance or Vivek Ramaswamy, because he's just like pro MAGA enough to not get shit on by the MAGA movement, and just moderate enough to appeal to like the never Trumper crowd.
Yeah, I don't get the people that hate Cruz so much in the MAGA movement, and my thing is they're forgetting that Cruz was one of the first Republican senators to back Trump when he was trying to challenge the 2020 election in the courts. I'm like, I don't get why they hate Cruz so much, considering he was one of the first ones to help him with that.
Yeah, like Cruz is like strangely politically isolated, where he tries to make too many like alliances throughout the political sphere, and so like both sides just end up shitting on him because like the MAGA people call him a rhino, and then the moderates call him like far right. So now it's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, Cruz is a very unique individual. He's kind of like what you said. He's isolated. Like he's in between MAGA and moderate.
Sorry to interrupt you, gentlemen, but I do be having to go here in a second. If you guys want to keep it going without me, that is totally cool. But before I
You have
leave,
to go mash.
no, I've been done with that's not even. Anyway, no, we're about to. We have a bunch of Christmas specials and stuff that we watch, and before Mom goes to bed, we're trying to watch Santa Claus is Coming to Town. The Rankin and Bass like claymation special from like the '60s.
Oh, the one where it's like him as like a teenager and young adult. Yeah, that was honestly very good.
Dude, it's literally so good. It's just to make sure we're talking about the same one. It's the one where there's like the Winter Warlock in the woods, and he like gives him a toy and it like turns him into a good guy.
Yeah. And then there's the sequel with the Heatmeister and the Coldmeister, and they got the cool song.
Oh yeah, we're watching that one. We're watching that one tomorrow. Yeah, like let's aside from all of the like dark stuff we've talked about this podcast, like let's all just remember that it's December, baby. All right, it's Christmas time. We get like it's Christmas time.
No, dude, I am like counting down the days, and I want a snow day so bad. I don't know if it's gonna happen. It's possible. It's like 24 degrees in Oxford right now.
I get. All right, let's go ahead and make everyone a promise. If there is a snow day, we've got to do a shenanigans where we I assume you both remember that episode of SpongeBob where it was snowing and Squidward, SpongeBob, and Patrick got up to some shenanigans. We got to do it like that.
Yeah, if y'all are healthy, of course. I'm not getting the Wukong flu from y'all.
That's fair.
Ian, if you're looking for good movies to watch over the holidays, I would recommend The Adventures of Mark Twain.
Is it Christmas related?
Somewhat.
Okay.
It's a
if you want a Christmas movie,
it's a very good claymation film.
Okay, I will keep it in mind. Is it like 2 hours or is it like shorter?
Let me pull up the exact runtime. It is an hour and 26 minutes.
I can't guarantee that I'll watch it, but I will remember it. And if I see it on Max or somewhere, I'll watch it.
Yeah. It's not really a Christmas movie, so keep that in mind. So if you want to wait until like a different time to watch it, but it is just a very.
It's claymation.
Yeah.
Yes, claymation.
Yeah, it's all done in claymation, and it is It has some of the best scenes I've ever seen.
So does
Awesome,
it have
awesome, awesome.
like does it have like Huckleberry Finn and like that stuff, or is it like his short stories?
Uh, the four main characters are Mark Twain himself, Huck Finn, Tom Sawyer, and I think it's Becky. Let me make sure.
Becky Thatcher.
Ian, remember the Family Guy? Huckleberry Finn. What'd you call him? I thought that